Philip Stoten. I'm at Apex 2023 and I'm joined by Grace O'Malley from iNEMI. Grace, we do this every year. We used to do this every year. We've had a break, but it's good to be back.
Yeah, it is indeed. Great to see all the colleagues and see all the progress that's been made in the last few years and some of the new challenges.
I wanted to talk to you about projects, but I'm kind of interested to see how all of those projects and initiatives carried on when people perhaps weren't allowed to meet face to face. Was there any kind of hiatus, or did you just push on and people just got on with it because they had a bit more time perhaps?
Actually, most definitely that way. We were never busier in the last 2 years, and it was great because I think people weren't travelling perhaps, and so we got a lot of planning work done. So we now have a very strong portfolio of projects that we're rolling out in a wide variety of areas: advanced packaging, smart manufacturing, a lot focused on our kind of traditional areas of board assembly, materials characterization, but also sustainability, because people did have time to work, collaborate and build strong plans. So we were really busy. And then also a lot of the existing projects, those were where we had some delays because obviously facilities were closed, for example, and that. So those have all, the majority of those now have finished in the last year. So we've had some good results, and building on that, we're moving into the second or third phase of some of these programs now. I would say actually it was an opportunity, and we didn't ignore it.
And I think it was interesting in the way that it asked people to do things differently, and maybe it kind of pushed some initiatives further forward. One of the projects you mentioned in there was sustainability.
Yes.
It's something that more and more suppliers are talking to me about because I know their customers are talking about it, and the customers are talking about it because we've got I think a more socially minded group of consumers coming through that care about the whole ESG and sustainability side of the supply chain. Tell me a bit about the projects you're doing in that area.
Yeah, excellent question. And it's such a broad area, right? I think, 10 years ago it was all about regulations, okay? Then we went through the material substitution, and of course iNEMI has a long history in that area, looking at lead-free solderers and building up the technical knowledge base that was needed to introduce these products successfully into high-volume manufacturing. But now it's moving into understanding the whole life cycle of the product, from the design cycle through to the end of life or second life or third life. So in the recent past, we've had projects very much focused on looking at the best practices in the industry in eco-design, and how other leaders in different industries, leveraging some of their experiences in terms of developing a culture internally, developing new tools, establishing the information that they need to make the right decisions. So be it materials information on, where their incoming materials were coming from, what processes were involved. And of course, I think just right now in the world, we're very concerned about resources, critical resources and scarcity of resources. So that's driving a big push across the industry. So all of our members, from material suppliers, equipment suppliers, device fabricators through to system integrators and research institutes, everyone has a sustainability goal of some sort. So there's quite a united, let me say a very collaborative environment, because it's a common problem for everyone. And we've a strong history in that area, again, more focused on the material substitution in the past, but now moving in, I think, to kind of the enabling capabilities and technologies that are needed for people to realistically and in a validated way achieve their sustainability goals.
Yeah, I think the validation is hugely important, and when I look at sustainability and companies talk to me about how we market and talk about sustainability, for me it's important they have the audit trail, they have the product life cycle analysis, they understand that if they're having an impact here that might be positive, think about what it might be doing somewhere else, and that's hugely important in the whole sustainability.
You have to look at it holistically and look at the whole system, and and understand the choices that you make, and obviously, like everything, the earlier in the design cycle and life cycle of a product, or a system, the better choices will be made. But you need information. You need materials information, understanding of the processes involved in achieving those materials, where the materials have been, what have they experienced, and those are tough questions, tough problems to solve. But they are a common problem across the industry, right? So I think it's understanding how we can get good, validated ways that everyone believes that the apples are the apples, right? And we can compare them is very important. So we certainly have a lot of discussion within our working group in this area in sustainability, and we've had projects in the past, and we're planning now at the moment looking at some tool development that we've used internally. Our members had developed a tool called Eco Impact Estimator, which was very much focused originally on carbon footprint. Now we're looking to see, okay, are there other resources we should be footprinting? Can we expand the database to include more components and more applications? So a lot of interest.
And that's a real sweet spot for iNEMI, because it's that collaboration between everybody from brand to to raw material supplier and the entire supply chain in between. And I think iNEMI is unique in that it does that. A lot of the projects, or I guess most of the projects you do, are informed by your roadmap. Where are we in the roadmap cycle at the moment?
Yeah, that's great. We've just published one of the first, we now call them topic areas, because we've moved from a document that had chapters on each of these areas to an online format, which hopefully will make life easier for everyone in terms of accessing the information, and also from our perspective contributing to the roadmap, because we can now do it on a more regular basis, more dynamic basis, exactly, and we'll have regular reviews, because even though we had a very comprehensive methodology before for developing, but by the time you published it, it was out of date already, right? So now we can keep it up. We've simplified a little bit also the format, so it's focused on future looking. The trends and challenges, which I think is the information people want from our kind of roadmap. So we already have it up online. We've a chapter or topic out there in the area of 5G materials, characterization and test, a very important area in the industry, and we've had a lot of activity both project-wise and in workshops and that within iNEMI over the last year. So we had all the expertise and knowledge to be able to do that, so we did that as our first. Now we had a session here yesterday focused on the smart manufacturing. So that's one of the next topics that will be published. We also had a second session focused on printed circuit boards, the challenges and requirements for printed circuit board fabricators over the next 10 years. So it was great to be able to partner with IPC, have it hosted here, because this is a great audience, and we had some very good engagement with both of those chapters. So as the year goes on, you'll see us rolling out a number of these topics online, and at the moment the update will be on our website as they come out. But I think it's very important right now in the industry. The industry needs that kind of consensus as to what the trends and challenges are, because resources are tighter for everyone, but also there are opportunities for funding new development, enabling technologies for electronics manufacturing. So you need to understand where are the areas we need to be addressing. That's always important.
Yeah, no, I think that's hugely valuable, and I'm really pleased to hear that you're going from, a book which is, comes out after a long period of development to something much more dynamic and actually something more sustainable. So that's good news in itself.
Yeah.
Grace, always a pleasure to chat. Thanks so much for your time, and look forward to hearing more from you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.